Hi everyone, and welcome back to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about my purchase of my new Canyon bike and the process for doing that. So first off, this is just the process that I took to purchase the bike. Your process might be slightly different, but I figured I wanted to share it with you guys because I wanted to give you some insight about my thoughts and my experience when I was going through this experience. So just to give you some background information, I was previously riding a Tommaso Forcella bike, and the only place that you can get them is online through this online retailer called giantnerd.com. And it is an entry-level bike with a Shimano Claris group set. It's an 8-speed. And so, as you can see already, that this is purely for people who want to get started with riding a bike. With the Tommaso Forcella, I did make some upgrades on it. I switched out the 1128 cassette to an 1134 just to have some better lower gearing when I'm doing steep climbs. I also switched out the tires to a 26 millimeter Panaracer Gravel Kings because at that time we were doing some gravel rides, and I wanted the bike to also have some better grip in those dirt roads, gravel roads, etc. With all the stuff that I was carrying between the repair kit, water bottle, the Wahoo Element, all the other stuff that I was carrying with me, it did add weight to the bike. The bike is an aluminum, they call it super light aluminum with a carbon fork, which is a great entry-level bike. But all the stuff that I added to it also added weight. So it came to around 25, 26 pounds, and it's a little too heavy for a climbing bike. So overall, I was really looking for a lightweight climbing bike, one that would easily get me up steep climbs. Having longer rides with lots of climbing is really ideally what I wanted in a new bike. The first step into purchasing this was to better understand the current bike that I'm riding. Now, I knew at that point, there's a certain point in time where you realize, I think I need a new bike. I would like to have better components to it. And so that's another thing, is also understanding the components and what they really are. Gearing combinations. So if you don't really know or understand gears, I suggest you kind of research all that information. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there, that tutorials on how to better understand gearing. There's this great website called bikecalc.com, and on that website it gives you there's several different data that they kind of spit out, and one of the things that I use is the speed. There's a tab for speed where you input the size of your tires, the gear combinations, and the cadence that you're going. And with that, it spits out your speed. And so from there, I can compare the speed of particular gearing combination to my cadence, to my optimal cadence, riding up steep hills, and decide, okay, what would be the best combination. So if you don't understand what 50-11 mean, or 39-34, if you don't understand what those gearing combinations or gear ratios are, I suggest you take some time, pause, and research that. So for me, it was understanding gear ratios, gear combinations, and also understanding what components I want in a bike. The next step was to determine what the bike will be used for. And for me, I wanted a lightweight bike because I need that bike to be able to climb. I also would like a bike that would be fast on the flats. Now here in Connecticut, there's not a whole lot of flats. It's actually a pretty hilly terrain. So it's really mainly for climbing because we do have some steep climbs here. I also want a bike that would be comfortable for longer durations. So longer bike rides as we increase the volume of our training. The third step that I took was to really research what bike matches with the things that I need. And this one took a long time to do. And do not feel like you are spending too much time and you're overanalyzing the bikes that you're looking at, because there are so many bike manufacturers out there. We have Felt, Specialized, Cannondale, Trek, Canyon, Villier. The list goes on and on and on. And so just really look to see what bikes are out there, which one kind of fits your needs. I didn't purchase through them, but there is this, if you are kind of on a tight budget and you want the best components, there is a website called the Pros Closet, which sells certified pre-owned bikes. So I suggest that you can also check them out to see if there is something that might match your needs. Price was also a big factor in this. I am by no means, I wish I could spend a little bit more on the bike, but honestly, there is a budget, right? And I have to stick within the budget. And so that was kind of the tipping point of, would I purchase through online where they can send you directly the bike, or do I go through the local bike shop? And the local bike shops, unfortunately, the prices of the bikes are a little bit more expensive, but you also get the service. As you know, I purchased the Canyon Ultimate, and Canyon is known to be purchased through online. I have researched this. I've just kind of funneled down exactly what I was looking for. And just so you know, like I said in the beginning of this video, the Tommaso Forcella was purchased online. I've always had such a great experience with that service through Giant Nerd. Had no issues with putting the bike together myself. Had no issues with the service. I was pretty happy with the experience. And Canyon sells their products directly to the customer without going through the local bike shops. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of heat from other people who are watching this who want to support local bike shops, and I totally support local bike shops. They help me out with several other things that we've had issues with our bike. They've helped us out with that, but the prices are a bit too high for what I was looking for. So with that being said, I narrowed it down to Canyon was going to be the brand that I was going for. And from there, I researched, okay, which is the type of bike that I want from Canyon. I had two choices, the Endurace or the Ultimate. Two slightly different bikes, or I shouldn't say slightly, they are very different bikes. The Endurace, it's slightly heavier than the Ultimate. It's at 8 kilograms. It has a more relaxed geometry. It's really meant for those long rides, for those grand fondos. And it also includes the Ultegra R8000, which is actually what I was looking for in a drivetrain. The Ultimate is lighter. It's 7.6 kilograms. It has more of a sportier geometry. It's meant for climbing, and it also has the Ultegra R8000. So when I saw that the Ultimate was a great climbing bike, and when I watched through YouTube videos of other people who have the same experience with the Ultimate, I really was looking towards going for that, even though I wanted the Endurace for the relaxed geometry. I am not a racer. I know we are training for this Grand Fondo with lots of climbing. So I had to go back to doing some more research. I wanted to make sure that the Ultimate was the perfect choice for me. I still was debating between the Endurace and the Ultimate, but at this point, I really wanted a lighter bike. And so the Ultimate, it was going to be, but I had to make sure that I compared it with the other brands with similar components. And what I found was when I did research other brands, they were $1,000 more than what than the Canyon Ultimate. And not only were they $1,000 more, they came with the Shimano 105 drivetrain, which Shimano 105 is, I think it's one level below the Ultegra, so it's slightly heavier. So at that point, I had just made my decision. It was going to be the Canyon Ultimate. So the next step was determining what size I was going to get. And Canyon has the perfect positioning system. They call it, if you go into their website, you put in your height and also your inseam. So you have to measure your inseam, and that second part will help pinpoint exactly what size you are. And from that, it gave me a 2 extra small, or 2XS as the size. And I really was concerned about that because I am not necessarily a small in stature. I am 5'5", and usually that's kind of average for most women. But Canyon considers 5'6" as being average. So I was really concerned that a 2 extra small was going to be too small for me. So I had a back and forth email with the Canyon service, and they explained to me exactly what the 2 extra small size is, the difference between that versus the extra small. I went on their website and I went through their tech specs of the 2 extra small and found out that it came with a 5236 chainring, 650B road wheels, and 1132 cassette. The question I had was, will the 5236 chainring be too high of a gearing? Second was, am I limited to tire choice because of the 650B road wheels? As I researched this, there are currently 2 tire manufacturers that offer 650B road wheels. That is Continental and Schwalbe. And so the 2 offer 25 millimeters and 28 millimeter. I wanted a wider selection of tire choices, and currently those 2 manufacturers are the only ones that are making 650B road wheels. All the other manufacturers make gravel tires, and so that kind of worried me a little bit. And then last but not least, with the cassette, will the 1132 get me up steeper hills? For example, the Cozier Hill climb that we did 2 weeks ago, you saw the video of that. It went for a max grade of 30%. So I'm not sure if the 1132 will be enough with the 5236 chainring combination. So the solution that I came up with was, I'm just going to keep the 5236 chainring, because if I were to swap it out with a 5034, it's $200 to do that, to keep it within the Shimano Ultegra R8000 family group set. The more economical solution, I think, would be to swap out the cassette. So right now it's an 1132. I'm actually considering doing an 1136 or even an 1140, which I've seen that you can do that with the Wolf Tooth Road Link. And also I'm going to replace the tires to a 28 millimeter. So I haven't decided whether I want the Continental or the Schwalbe brand. I'm kind of still having to research that. So I hope that kind of helped you with the process that I took to purchasing my new bike. I know some of you may still have many questions about what exactly the process is, and my suggestion to you is just to really research exactly what you want. You have to know what you want first before you go out and buy it. Don't just go out and buy this $3,000 bike because you like the color or because the brand is so well known. Don't just go out and spend all that money and find out that you ride it and it's not exactly what you want. Now, I've only ridden the Canyon one time, and so I'm gonna try give it more time to adjust to it. But so far, I have really liked. I think the sizing is actually perfect for me. If I had gone a little bit bigger, I think it might have been harder to maneuver. Whereas the smaller size, as I think because of the 650B wheels, allows me to have better turning, better control of the bike. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you made it up to this video, please hit the subscribe button down below, and see you again next time on many more videos to come.